Hey girl or guy, it's your girl My. All right, so at this job, I'm literally like the first person out this hoe. Like if I was to show you the parking lot, I'm the only car. Well, this car in front of me, it's in the parking lot, like where the drivers drive, where the drivers park at rather. Which like I said, I always get here early. You know, I got this little stain. It's all right. It's real life. Okay. We ain't doing all that extra stuff just to get on camera. Now, sometimes I do be looking a little busted up and I be like, oh my goodness, be looking a little dingy, ran down. But, you know, we friends, so duh. But yeah, how I'm feeling today. I had a 4-day weekend. It went by extremely slow. That's a good thing. We need the work days to fly by and the days off go by slow. Okay. That's always the motto. But I'm tired a little bit. I don't know why I keep doing that to myself. Like I went to sleep at 2:00. Like, what did I have going on? 2. But listen, I'm literally the only car, except for this one in front of me. Oh, dude pulling up right here in this hole. You know, I would show you, but then I gotta take this off, and it's too much. I was struggling to get this phone at this angle, but yeah. So I'm just a little bit, cause I'm talking to y'all. I took me some vitamin D plus B12, so maybe that's why. Maybe I'm a little vitamin D deficient a little bit. Okay, I'm not gonna cast that over myself, but yeah. But today I have a and I took some lion's mane pills. I was slacking on those to help me focus real good. But may today route be light and short, you know, so we can have an early day off, and then I can go home and edit this video. But yeah, that's how I'm feeling today. You know, let me know in the comments how you felt today and how your day was. Just in case nobody asked you how you was feeling today and how your day was. Okay? See how I made eye contact with you when I said that? That's how you know it's real. But at the end of the day, what I came to talk about on this video is the pros and cons to working at Amazon real quick. So, let's start off with the cons. So that way we can end it with positivity. So definitely the cons, for sure, the number one con that you're not going to like is the weather. And depending on where you at, the different seasons is excruciating. Like here for the summertime, it's extremely hot. And it's more so the humidity. I don't know. It's just like, it's undescribable. Literally. Like, it's undescribable hot. Rain. It's supposed to rain today. It said it was gonna rain around 12 to 3. So rain, because when it rains, your phone is getting rained on. It's not your personal phone, it's the work phone that they give you. It's getting rained on. And you know, the water droplets is making it click to this and that and all of this. Now, what you can do is get you one of those things that you could put your phone in to where you can go underwater. I had one, but I think I left it in one of those trucks. And that the water will slide right on off of that, and then you can consistently keep on going. But when you don't have that, the phone wet, your pants wet, so you can't put it in your pants. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's raining hard, like if it's sprinkling or drizzling, you'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? Because you most likely won't be drenched. Okay, so you can wipe it off and all of that and stuff like that. So So that, but you definitely, if you get one of those things, like I said, that you could put your phone in, that won't bother you. The most you'll be is just wet with your pants or raincoat or whatever the case may be. So, cold, like it hasn't been cold here, and it's January. It was cold like a couple of days, like here and there. Like they wasn't kidding when they said that this weather is bipolar. Like it really is. But then again, they be controlling the weather, so. But yeah, it hasn't really been cold yet. Like tomorrow it's supposed to be cold, where it said it's gonna be a freeze flash or something like that. So it's supposed to be like 40 degrees or something like that. But I take that compared to Richmond, Virginia. Okay, I looked at their weather today, and they woke up today with it was 18 degrees outside. 18? Oh, and when I used to work there and it was cold, it was so cold to the point where I was literally about to cry because I had one more stop left, and my hands was so cold they was about to fall off, because it's kind of difficult, especially me, because I got real small hands. So it's difficult to find gloves that you can grip the package with and also keep your hands warm. Either you wear some gloves that you can grip the package with, but it's gonna keep your hands whatever the temperature is. So if it's cold outside, it's gonna keep your hands cold. If it's hot outside, it's gonna keep your hands hot. So you better off raw dogging it, unless you can find you some. But for me, it's difficult because I have small hands. But yeah, it was what was it? I think it was in 2023. That winter. Oh baby, yes. Like I said, I had one stop left, and my hands were so cold that I couldn't push the button. And I was literally about to cry because it's like, oh my goodness, and the wind is blowing. Like what? Oh, that was like the worst winter ever because it was just extremely cold. But clearly this winter for them is gonna be bad. 18 degrees. I don't like being cold. Not to the point where you hurting. I'm about to cry. I can't think. Oh my goodness. Imagine people that live in Alaska. Girl, please. So I would say those are the top two, like weather. Definitely weather. The other cons, it really just depends on your DPS. Like comparing again my old DPS to this DPS, I would definitely say when it came to like if whatever you needed as far as uniform. So let's say you didn't have a raincoat, you didn't have a winter coat, or you needed some more pants, or you needed some more shirts or a winter shirt or whatever the case may be. All you had to do was tell your dispatch, and the dispatch would tell the owner. And then the next day when you came into work, they'll have your stuff for you. Here on this team, I don't know about other teams, they won't even give you a raincoat until you've been working here for a year. Don't you got to turn all of this back in once you leave? Why does it matter? But then again, I don't know. I don't know if they have to pay for these uniforms or whatever the case may be. But if you a business, aren't you supposed to create budgets for that? That's why you have a budget for that, if they have to pay for it. So I don't really know the backstory behind that, but I would consider that a con when you don't have all the equipment that you need to work. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you supposed to provide that for me. Another con, I would say, the trucks being broke down, especially if they gas trucks or whatever the case may be. Maybe because they being used like every day. I don't know. Because even with your personal car, you don't use your personal car every single day, because even let's say you do work 5 days a week, you still off 2 days. But I don't know. Thank goodness we do have more electric vans than gas vans. But people do be messing them up. I don't know how they be busting up, scraping up these people's trucks. Don't get me wrong, I done scraped up a couple trucks at my old one. But it didn't involve another person or nothing like that. It was just a tree. I know you're like, what happened? But you don't need to know all that. But yeah, the trucks, if they don't, and I would say that depends on your DPS. Like, if they don't keep up the maintenance, like whoever they hire for maintenance, if they not really doing their job and really keeping up with the maintenance, then your trucks is always messed up. Your trucks is always falling apart and all of that, which in return, you on a route and then the truck messes up, that messes you up, because now you gotta wait for them to come send you another truck and transfer trucks, and now you get put behind in your route, and there's no guarantee that they gonna send somebody else to come help you. So as long as they keep the maintenance up with the trucks, then you should be good. But that's definitely a con. Like, when I come here, I shouldn't have to worry about it. That's another thing that falls under equipment. The phones, the work phones that they give you, especially in the summertime, them hoes is overheating, which it don't be like, oh, your phone overheating. You just know your phone is overheating because it just starts dying fast. Nigga, I got 160 stops left. Why am I on 35%? It's only 1 o'clock. I'm on 35%. And then, they don't have enough extra phones to give you when you ask for an extra phone in the morning time. Or they just tell you to go to this person to get a phone, which puts you back. Like, or they ask you to use your personal phone. Like, I shouldn't have to use my personal phone. Again, y'all should be keeping track which phones die faster, because again, don't you have like a budget or some type of thing that's set up to where, hey, they provide us with this many phones, or whatever the case may be, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Or I would say just have a good amount of extra phones, and only the people that do have huge routes are able to get 2 phones. Because why do I need to use my personal phone? You're supposed to provide me with everything that I need, you know what I'm saying? Or the chargers that they give you, at least the chargers. Like, okay, the phones, okay, that might be a little bit more of a hassle, but the chargers though, you can get you some chargers. You get a charger that ain't even charging your phone. Whole time you thinking your phone being charged, and it's not being charged. That's why, so yeah, those 2 things, because that did happen to me, where the phone was dying. It was 3 o'clock, or it was going on 3 o'clock, and I had to go in. My personal phone was dying because I was listening to music. Well, it wasn't dying, but I just felt like my personal phone, well, it was dying, but I just felt like my personal phone wasn't going to make it until like the end. So I had to go to somebody else and get a phone, which ultimately put me back. Like, I lost my whole 3 o'clock. So everything that I possibly could have completed, I felt like, I could have had lesser stops at 3. Like, I could have had lesser stops if I didn't lose my 3 o'clock, basically. But I still finished at like 6:30-ish, I believe. Yeah, I finished at 6:30 that day. But I had to literally push that hole because I had to go out of my way to get a phone. But it was either that or your shit was going to be dead. And that has happened to me before. And then both of your phones, your personal phone and your other phone, your work phone, dead. Now they just see you sitting somewhere. And unless they got 2 brain cells to rub together, then they'll realize, oh, they phone dead. What else? Oh, con number 4, or I don't know. So another con I would say would be the GPS. I don't know what GPS they be using, like, but sometimes, which it hasn't happened here, but let's say you work at an Amazon that is kind of like, you will have country routes. The GPS be off. The whole be like, turn left. It's bushes over there. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not really paying attention when it comes to situations like that, and you just drive and listening to what she's saying and taking the the directions like that, then you liable to crash. So you definitely gotta pay attention when it comes to things like that. Or, it just seem off sometimes, even like when you in the city or in a city area or whatever the case may be. And it's like, oh, turn in this little plaza or whatever the case. And you're like, where? So I would say that, but it's not that high on the list because for the most part, you can kind of figure it out. Another con, when you do have to come in to load up, I feel like which everybody just doing their job. So the Amazon people, when they be rushing you to load up your truck, and it's just like, bruh, first of all, my route wasn't ready when I came up in here, and now you want to rush me. Y'all ain't even have my stuff ready yet. Now I gotta be rushed and just throw my stuff in there and not really organize as I'm going, and then just try to organize it at my first stop. But by that time, like, I want to be able to just start going. But y'all didn't even have my stuff ready. Now that we on that topic, sometimes, like, I don't know if it's new people or if they rushing them, I don't know, but sometimes you got packages that's not even on your route in there, and then they like, oh, if it's 5 minutes or less where you at, then deliver it. What? Why I got to do that? That ain't got nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if they being rushed, but sometimes your packages be missing, or sometimes they be missing and they really don't be in there, and then they be on somebody else's route. And then sometimes they do be in there, they just in a different bag. So I don't know what they got going on with that, but that's another thing you just gotta think about, besides just loading up your stuff, not worrying about if your truck gonna break down, not worrying about if all your packages in there or if you got the right packages. You know what I'm saying? Not worrying about if your phone gonna die or if the charger gonna work. But that's what all comes with it, So if you knew, you just kind of gotta not let that get you worked up or overwhelmed, because it's just like whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's definitely a con that I will put on the list. Like, your stuff be missing, they rushing you, it was never ready in the first time. And then it's like, you can't bring back, they don't want you to bring back packages. Or if you do, they want you to bring back as less packages as you can. Like, you say, oh, I'm bringing back 4. They like, what? So they want you to deliver all of your packages if possible. Because, yes, sometimes the places is closed. So if it's a Sunday and you know that businesses are closed on Sunday, why would you even put them on a route? Put those packages out for delivery. Like, that don't make sense. But yeah, so it's kind of like, oh, you damned if you do, you damned if you don't. Oh, because they don't want you to bring back packages because they got a scorecard, or less packages as possible. But at the same time, it's just like, hey, if I can't access this, you want me to call the customer? I call the customer. It's just too many steps when it should just be like, okay, they not here, we're just going to send this back out tomorrow. Because that's what you're going to do. Instead of calling the customer, oh, well, call them again. At least call them 2 times. Baby, if they didn't answer the phone the first time, they're not going to answer the phone the second time. Maybe they will, but chances are they don't want to be bothered. But yeah, again, I just don't let that stress me out, because at the end of the day, they can see everything, basically. If they wanted to, they can see what time you got there, how long it took you there, if you called the customer, if you texted the customer, you know what I'm saying, if they hung up, whatever. Like, so how many packages they got, if they big or they large or whatever the case may be. So it's like, baby, you already know I'm struggling. I don't, and once you just switch your mind to that frame of looking, then you'll be all right, you'll be good. But as a new person, you can be overwhelmed with that, but it's no need to be overwhelmed. Now we're gonna get to the pros, because I gotta clock in a few minutes. So the pros, I would say, again, depending on your team, you could get paid every week. My team get paid every 2 weeks. It's somewhat faster to get a raise. But at the same time, if Amazon give the new people, like starting in the door, they raise that, then the DPS people have to give their people a raise. because starting in the door, them new people make such and such money. If that makes sense. I hope it makes sense, because it's just not sounding right to me. But yeah, so I feel like it's faster to get a raise, at least from my experiences. Another pro, you work 4 days and you off 3 days. So you actually have time to, recuperate, rest. You work in the morning time. Depending on your team, if you finish early, they'll let you go home. I know some teams might make you go help somebody else, which in return is really not good for you, because in the system, however many stops you have for that day, and then you go help somebody else in the system, Amazon is gonna think like, oh, they finished at this time and they went to go do some 20 extra stops the next time, because the system puts you on the routes that they feel like is good for you. Now your DPS can go in there and switch routes if they feel like you can't handle it. So the system, if they see that you going to go help people and you finish at this time and you still had time to go help somebody and you still finish at a decent time, they're going to, on your next route, they're going to make it bigger. They're going to make it heavier because they see that you can handle it. So that's another reason why I don't really like going to go help people, because my stuff already big. Okay. But yeah, that's the 3 days off and you work 4 days. And it's in the morning time. So the 4 days kind of fly by. Another pro is, you basically by yourself. You don't really have to answer to nobody, because again, as long as you do what you're supposed to do, you not gonna have no problems. Nobody gonna mess with you. Nobody gonna be hassling you or nothing like that. As long as you do what you're supposed to do, everything's in the green. You literally just work by yourself. You outdoors. I like being outdoors, but you outdoors, you don't really got to deal with too many customers. Even the ones that do come outside of their door, it's usually just a hey, or they don't really say nothing for real. They just smile. It just depends. But for the most part, it's not like, oh, I'm sick of this person and da da da. It's not that type of vibe. Another pro is, if, let's say you're going through hard times, right? They always offering overtime. So you will always be able to get caught back up on whatever you're struggling with and stuff like that, because there's always overtime available. And also, they don't make you come in for overtime. Like, they just offer it. They don't make stuff mandatory. Like, I know at the warehouse, when there's certain seasons, like peak season, Prime Week, and all of that, they make overtime mandatory. Now, throughout the shift, and we talking about like the warehouse, throughout the years where they don't have that peak season and all of that, they might offer overtime and stuff like that. Like, and they'll have it on the A to Z app. Like, oh, these blocks are available. Well, y'all, that's all I got for today. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. I love you.